There are several types of toxic parents that can negatively impact their children's emotional and psychological well-being. Here are some examples. Narcissistic parents. Narcissistic parents tend to prioritize their own needs and desires over their children's, often using them to meet their own emotional needs. They may be critical and dismissive of their children's accomplishments or feelings and may use manipulation or guilt to control them. Controlling parents. Controlling parents may micromanage their children's lives, making all the decisions for them and not allowing them to develop their own sense of autonomy. They may use threats, punishments, or emotional manipulation to get their way. Emotionally abusive parents. Emotionally abusive parents may belittle, criticize, or shame their children, leading to low self-esteem and feelings of worthlessness. They may also use tactics such as gaslighting, where they deny or minimize their child's experiences or feelings, leading them to doubt their own reality. Enmeshed parents. Enmeshed parents may have an overly close or boundary-less relationship with their children, which can lead to a lack of independence and difficulties with identity formation. They may rely on their children for emotional support and companionship, blurring the line between parent and child roles. Neglectful parents. Neglectful parents may fail to provide for their children's basic needs, such as food, shelter, and safety, as well as emotional needs such as love, support, and attention. This can lead to feelings of abandonment, low self-worth, and difficulty with attachment and relationships. Toxic behavior in parents can have many underlying causes. Here are some possible reasons why parents may display toxic behavior. Past traumas. Parents who have experienced trauma in their own lives, such as abuse or neglect, may inadvertently perpetuate that trauma by repeating similar patterns of behavior with their own children. Mental health issues. Mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, personality disorders, and addiction can all contribute to toxic behavior in parents. These conditions can impact a parent's ability to regulate their emotions and communicate effectively with their children. Unrealistic expectations. Some parents have unrealistic expectations of their children, which can lead to high levels of pressure and criticism. This can create a toxic environment and put a lot of stress on the child. Lack of boundaries. Parents who have poor boundaries may overstep their children's boundaries, not respect their children's independence or privacy, or refuse to acknowledge their child's individuality. Social and cultural factors. Toxic behaviors can also stem from societal and cultural norms that dictate strict roles and expectations for children and parents. These norms can be harmful and perpetuate negative pattern of behavior. It's important to note that while these factors can contribute to toxic behavior in parents, it doesn't excuse or justify any harmful actions. As children grow into adults, it's important to try to understand why their parents behave the way they do. But it's also important to set boundaries and prioritize their own well-being. Growing up with toxic parents can have lasting impacts on an individual's adult life. Here are some of the potential impacts. Mental health issue. Individuals who grew up with toxic parents may be at higher risk for developing mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, in adulthood. Difficulty with relationships. Adults who grew up with toxic parents may struggle with establishing and maintaining healthy relationships, either becoming too enmeshed or too avoidant in their interactions with others. Lack of self-esteem. Individuals who grew up with toxic parents may struggle with low self-esteem and feelings of inadequacy, as their own needs and desires may have been dismissed or invalidated by their parents. Trust issues. Adults who grew up with toxic parents may have difficulty trusting others and may be more guarded in their interactions with others. Boundary issues. Adults who grew up with toxic parents may struggle with setting and maintaining healthy boundaries in relationships, which can lead to issues with intimacy and vulnerability. Self-sabotage. Adults who grew up with toxic parents may engage in self-sabotaging behaviors such as substance abuse or engaging in toxic relationships as a way to cope with the emotional pain caused by their parents. Dealing with toxic parents can be a difficult and emotionally challenging experience, But there are some strategies you can use to protect yourself and minimize the negative impact on your life. Here are some tips for handling toxic parents. 1. Set boundaries. Decide what behaviors are unacceptable and let your parents know that you won't tolerate them. Be clear and firm about what you need and stick to your boundaries. This may involve limiting contact, reducing the amount of time you spend with them, or even cutting off contact altogether if necessary. 2. Seek support. It can be helpful to talk to a therapist or a trusted friend or family member about your experiences with toxic parents. Having someone to confide in and offer support can help you feel less isolated and more empowered to take action. 3. Practice self-care. Taking care of yourself is crucial when dealing with toxic parents. Make sure to prioritize your own needs and engage in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. This might include exercise, meditation, spending time with friends, or pursuing a hobby you enjoy. 4. Communicate assertively. When communicating with your parents, use I statements and express your feelings in a clear and direct manner. Avoid blaming or criticizing them, but also don't hesitate to speak up if you feel disrespected or mistreated. 5. Consider seeking professional help. If your parents' behavior is impacting your mental health and well-being, it may be helpful to seek the support of a mental health professional. A therapist can offer guidance and strategies for coping with toxic parents, as well as help you process any unresolved emotional issues related to your relationship with them. Remember, it's important to prioritize your own well-being and happiness, even if that means making difficult decisions about your relationship with your parents. While individuals who have grown up with toxic parents may experience significant challenges and negative impacts, there are no inherent benefits to having toxic parents. Toxic parenting can have a lasting impact on an individual's emotional and psychological well-being, and may result in a range of negative outcomes including mental health issues, relationship difficulties, and low self-esteem. It's also worth noting that some individuals who have experienced toxic parenting may find that they have developed resilience and coping mechanisms as a result of their experiences. While it's important to acknowledge the strength and resilience of individuals who have overcome significant challenges, it's important to note that these qualities are not a direct result of having toxic parents, but rather a testament to the individual's own strength and determination. Ultimately, it's important to prioritize healing and self-care in the aftermath of toxic parenting, rather than focusing on any potential benefits that may or may not exist. Seeking support from a mental health professional, building a support system of healthy relationships, and practicing self-care can all be important steps towards healing and building a fulfilling and meaningful life, regardless of one's past experiences.